A young boy growing up in a tiny poverty-stricken Japanese village sees a car for the first time, a machine so alien and powerful that he can't help but chase after it. So captivating. This encounter sparks a dream in him. But he's just a poor blacksmith's son, barely scraping by, with no formal education and no resources. Fast forward a few decades, and this same boy is on the brink of launching a global automobile company that would soon redefine the industry of transportation forever. But how did he do it? How exactly did Soichiro Honda, a poor boy who started by cleaning workshops and fixing bicycles, turn things around and eventually surpass some of the biggest automobile giants like Ford and Mercedes-Benz in the world? What unbreakable drive fueled his journey through crushing failures, wartime devastation, and fierce competition? And what lessons can we learn from the man who turned every setback into a stepping stone? This is the untold story of how an unstoppable dream met relentless ambition, and together, they built one of the biggest automobile companies that is well known as Honda today. Chapter 1: Raised in Poverty. In 1906, in the quiet rural village of Tenri near Mount Fuji, Japan, Soichiro Honda was born into a world of hardship. His father, Gaha Honda, worked as a local blacksmith, repairing tools and farm equipment. His mother Mika was a weaver with a gift for craftsmanship. Together, they made an honest living but struggled to support their growing family. Life was harsh. Japan itself was undergoing intense societal changes. For Soichiro, the dream of anything beyond his small village seemed almost impossible. As a child, Soichiro was lively, curious, and fascinated by anything mechanical. His father's small bicycle repair side business offered him his first glimpse into the wonders of machinery. While his friends played, young Soichiro spent hours watching his father fix bikes, captivated by the gears, chains, and tools. He quickly learned the basics, eager to help whenever he could. One day, when he was just 8 years old, Soichiro heard a noise unlike any he had ever heard, a low rumble that seemed to shake the ground. Intrigued, he ran through the village to find the source and was stunned to see a machine that defied explanation, a Ford Model T, the first car to come through his village. His heart raced as he watched it move, seemingly with a life of its own. Without thinking, he sprinted after it, desperate to understand how such a machine could exist. This moment would forever change him, sparking a desire to one day create machines of his own. But for a young boy growing up in Tenryu, such dreams seemed distant and unreachable. Soichiro struggled in school, finding traditional education dull and unrelated to his passions. His grades were so poor that, in a bold move, he began forging his family's stamp on his report cards to avoid showing his father. Although his efforts to deceive were eventually discovered, this act reflected a rebellious, independent spirit. Soichiro craved practical experience and knowledge of machines far more than any classroom lesson. Chapter 2: Tokyo and Art Shokai. At the age of 15, Soichiro decided it was time to leave his village in search of greater opportunities. Tokyo was calling him, and he answered with a heart full of ambition. In 1922, he joined Art Shokai, one of Tokyo's most respected auto repair shops. He envisioned himself working on cars, learning every detail of the machines that had captured his imagination. But upon arriving, his hopes were dashed. Instead of being put to work on engines, he was assigned to babysit the owner's child and complete menial tasks around the shop. Frustrated but determined, Soichiro refused to let his circumstances defeat him. Day after day, he performed his duties with silent determination, all the while observing every repair job from a distance. Eventually, his patience and commitment caught the attention of the shop owner, Yuzo Sakakibara. Recognizing the young boy's unwavering dedication, Yuzo invited him to assist with minor repairs. Once given the opportunity, Soichiro poured himself into the work, eager to learn every aspect of mechanics. He tackled each task with intensity, staying late to practice and improve. Yuzo began to see his potential and took him under his wing, teaching him not just about car repairs but about running a business. Over time, Soichiro learned to balance his passion for machines with a newfound understanding of how to manage a workshop. He gained hands-on experience with a variety of cars, from Lincolns and Mercedes to Daimlers and motorcycles, each one teaching him valuable lessons. Through Art Shokai, Soichiro was also introduced to the thrilling world of motorsports. Racing was not just a sport but a platform for testing the limits of machines and showcasing innovation. In 1924, at only 17 years old, Soichiro helped build a racing car that won first place at the Japanese Motor Car Championship. For him, this was more than a victory. It was proof that his passion could lead to success. Motorsports became a central part of his life, fueling his desire to understand and push the boundaries of mechanical engineering. Chapter 3: The Lone Journey. As he entered his 20s, Soichiro began to dream bigger. He wanted to manufacture car parts himself, to create something new rather than just repair what others had built. Inspired by his work at Art Shokai, he saw an opportunity in piston rings, a crucial component of car engines. However, when he proposed this idea to Art Shokai's shareholders, they dismissed it, uninterested in venturing into new territory. Undeterred, Soichiro made the bold decision to leave Art Shokai and start his own company, Tokai Seiki, dedicated to manufacturing piston rings. However, creating high-quality parts proved more challenging than he had anticipated. His first designs were rejected by Toyota for failing quality standards, and only 3 out of 50 pistons met the required specifications. Many would have given up, but not Soichiro. Determined to master his craft, he enrolled in metallurgy classes, studying tirelessly to understand the science behind materials and their properties. After years of trial and error, Soichiro finally perfected his piston design, which began selling across Japan. His small factory grew, and it seemed his hard work had paid off. But just as Tokai Seiki was gaining momentum, World War II erupted, and the company was placed under military control. As Japan faced devastating air raids, Soichiro's factory was bombed and destroyed. With little left, he made the heartbreaking decision to sell his remaining assets to Toyota and return home, nearly defeated. Chapter 4: Creation of Honda Motor Company. Post-war Japan was a nation in ruins. Resources were scarce, and gasoline was nearly impossible to obtain. Many people had to abandon cars altogether, using bicycles as their primary means of transportation. Soichiro, who had lost almost everything, began searching for a way to rebuild his life. During this time, he discovered a small generator engine used by the military. Curious and inspired, he decided to attach the engine to a bicycle, creating a simple motorized bike. The result was groundbreaking. These motorized bicycles provided an affordable, efficient way for people to get around in a time of scarcity. Orders for the bike surged, and Soichiro realized he had stumbled upon a solution that Japan desperately needed. In 1948, he officially founded Honda Motor Company with the goal of producing motorized bicycles for the masses. Honda's first full motorcycle, the Model D, followed soon after. Although it was a remarkable achievement, Soichiro was not fully satisfied. He knew it was too heavy and cumbersome. He returned to the drawing board, determined to refine his design. 3 years later, he introduced the Honda Super Cub, a lightweight, affordable motorbike that was easy to use and maintain. The Super Cub became an instant hit, winning the Emperor's Prize and marking the beginning of Honda's rise to international prominence. Chapter 5: Beyond Japan's Borders. The success of the Super Cub solidified Honda's reputation in Japan, but Soichiro's ambitions stretched far beyond his home country. Partnering with Takeo Fujisawa, a savvy businessman, Soichiro began expanding Honda into new markets, including the United States. In 1958, the Super Cub debuted in America with a price tag of just $295, a fraction of what American motorcycles cost. Honda's success in the US wasn't just about affordability. The company introduced innovative marketing strategies, targeting a broader audience and positioning motorcycles as accessible, reliable vehicles for everyday people. Within a year, Honda was outselling even legendary brands like Harley-Davidson, cementing its place in the hearts of American consumers. By 1959, Honda had become the world's top motorcycle manufacturer, a stunning achievement that few could have imagined a decade earlier. But Soichiro wasn't content with motorcycles alone. he still dreamed of creating cars, an ambition that had burned within him since childhood. Despite warnings from colleagues and even the Japanese government, Soichiro was determined to make Honda a car company as well. Chapter 6: Breaking into the car industry. In 1963, Honda released its first automobile, the T360 mini truck, followed by the S500, a two-door sports car. Though both vehicles were modest in sales, they represented the beginning of a new era for Honda Motor Company. Soichiro was unwavering in his commitment to produce cars that embodied both quality and affordability. Then came the oil crisis of the 1970s. As gasoline prices soared, consumers around the world began seeking fuel-efficient vehicles. Honda seized this opportunity, introducing the Civic, a compact, fuel-efficient car that featured the innovative CVCC engine. Unlike other engines of the time, the CVCC was designed to reduce emissions and improve fuel efficiency, making the Civic both economical and environmentally friendly. In a time when pollution was a growing global concern, Honda's technology set the Civic apart. The Civic's success was followed by the Accord, a larger, more refined model that quickly became a bestseller. The Accord's spacious interior, reliability, and fuel efficiency made it one of the most popular cars in both America and Japan. By the early 1980s, Honda was Japan's third-largest automaker, and by the end of the decade, it had become one of the most recognized car brands in the world. Chapter 7: Legacy. In 1973, Soichiro Honda retired, leaving behind a company that had grown far beyond anything he could have imagined. Reflecting on his career, he humbly acknowledged the mistakes he'd made along the way, attributing his success to the lessons learned from each failure. "Looking back on my work," he once said, "I feel that I was doing nothing more than making mistakes, blunders, and omissions. But my achievements, I owed to learning from those mistakes." His life was a testament to resilience, proving that greatness comes not from avoiding failure but from using it as a stepping stone to reach new heights. After Soichiro's passing in 1991, Honda continued to expand and innovate, moving into areas like jet engines, power equipment, and robotics. Today, Honda is more than just an automaker. It is a global powerhouse of innovation and engineering. The legacy of Soichiro Honda lives on in each new product, in every engine, and in the spirit of a company that has never forgotten its humble beginnings. From a poor village boy captivated by the sight of a car to a visionary who transformed global transportation, Soichiro Honda's journey is a story of passion, perseverance, and in relentless belief in the power of dreams. What's the best lesson you have learned from Soichiro Honda's story? Let me know down in the comments section. Now, make sure to give this video a like and subscribe for more content. Thanks for watching, and remember to check out our other videos on various interesting topics. Till next time, stay blessed.